Welcome to the Annie Jennings PR Real Stories of Success podcast series. Annie Jennings is the creator of the most powerful radio campaign in the country, where you are booked on high-impact shows in top markets, as well as the famous pay-for-placement national television, print, and online media program where she offers guaranteed deliverables. My name is Stacey Emerald Kaufman. I'm the radio director for Annie Jennings PR and interviewer for Jennings Wire Online Magazine, a special community of bloggers and podcasters that is capturing the heart of America. And today we are sharing another real story of success to give listeners an inside look into what it's like to work with Annie Jennings PR. Life coach and motivational speaker Zelda Hayes, she was heard on nearly 40 stations across the country while featured on national programs and big media brands that were booked through Annie Jennings PR, such as Sirius XM Satellite Radio, iHeartMedia, CBS Radio, and much more. Zelda leveraged her exposure to get new clients, sell some books, and also grow her social media following. So Zelda, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Stacey. I'm glad to be here.
We're glad to have you and so excited for your success. Tell us about all of the fabulous results that you received from the radio campaign. I know you mentioned new clients and book sales, increased following, and that Instagram, your followers increased by over 1,000%.
Well, actually, Stacey, yes, indeed. And you know what? I really wasn't quite sure what to expect. You know, when you get a PR, you think of it's like the television. You're not sure what to expect. And it really, caught me by surprise, the energy that was delivered through these radio stations and the people that would call me after the shows. And I noticed, I think like by my third or fourth show, my Instagram went up from like 200 to like 2,050, like 2,500. My Facebook went up about 2,000 plus. And the most incredible thing was the amount of callers and new clients that I was receiving, because they said, oh, well, they heard me on this show, or they heard me on that show. And, or even, I actually went to the casino and gave my card. The guy was like, are you Zelda Hayes? I just heard you on the radio. And so I'm sitting there playing poker, signing autographs. So it was a real high for me. And my book sales have taken off, and I've actually, because of all the success working with Annie Jennings, I am able to open a actual office location. My grand opening is like tomorrow, when we're going to have media coverage there here in Pensacola, and it's just really phenomenal. I'm just overwhelmed. I'm ready for more. I'm so excited.
Wow,
it's great.
That is fantastic news. So you're opening up kind of a brick and mortar. You're going to have a storefront, basically, or an office front for your life coaching business. And you feel as if Annie Jennings and the radio interviews and the exposure and the big brand names, that's helped you kind of get to that next step.
Actually, it was the pivotal point of it happening, because before I had Annie Jennings, it was very hard for me to try to market through social media, and I think like a year I might have gotten like 200 Instagram followers. As a matter of fact, even my website, I would get like maybe 500 for the whole month. And so far I'm at like 2,500, and we're not even at the end of January. But before I had the Annie Jennings, I was not really getting notoriety. I wasn't, people weren't really taking me seriously. They were like, oh, she's another life coach, and the quality of people that were coming to me did not exactly help me, raise my leverage. But having these interviews, I don't know if I'm allowed to say any of the shows, but one particular show just made me expand so big, and I'm just like, I'm ready for television now. I'm ready. If it had it not been for me signing up with Annie Jennings, I would not be in the position where I am, and I can say that confidently.
Wow. So, I mean, it really seems as if the radio campaign can be really powerful for you. Well, it was powerful for you, but for any client. So will you continue to leverage? I know you talked about having logos of the brand name media on your site and how you were able to use those to your benefit, give you somewhat of a competitive edge, create credibility in your space. How will you continue to use those? I mean, do you feel as if the value goes way beyond just doing the radio interviews?
The value does go beyond using the radio interviews. Being able to have those logos on your site to verify your credibility, to let people see that, hey, this is really where she was and this is where she's been, is a big impact, because people go by your credibility, and your credibility is based on who is important that's heard you. So if you've been on radio more than once, people are starting to pay attention just like television, and that's how celebrity status grows. And I would tell anyone, if you're seeking to get exposure, definitely go with Annie Jennings, and definitely go with the interviews, the radio campaigns. It is phenomenal. I can't emphasize how slow my business was going, and even book sales. I mean, I was getting great raves and great reviews about the books, but now I'm getting so much more, and they always start off saying something like, "Oh, I heard you on this show. Oh, I heard you on that show." I don't, like I said, I don't know if I can mention the shows, but you know, they would mention the shows they've heard me on, and they was like, I tried to call in, and I mean, even getting emails that say, I missed you on I heard you on the show, but I didn't get to call in time, and I had a life question, and I mean, it's definitely something. If you're trying to get exposure, don't try to market yourself. You definitely need radio interviews. It's a big boost in your credibility, especially if you have something valuable to share with the world. And I really believe that Annie Jennings is the one to do it, because she definitely delivered. She, went way above and beyond, because I had so many interviews. It was ridiculous. It was just great. It really was.
Well, Zelda, thank you so much. Obviously, I'm the radio director, so I'm patting myself on the back just a little bit. But we do.
Thank you,
the thing is like we do this for everyone. I mean, we're out there and we are delivering, as you said, the guaranteed number of shows. And then talk to us about how Annie Jennings was able to prepare you. I mean, I know that you came to us. And what we were able to do for you is get you trained and ready to go, and just support you in your radio experience.
Well, it's funny. You would think that as a public speaker, or at least in my mind, I thought that as a public speaker, how hard could this be? And I didn't realize that when it actually came down to it, that I was nervous. And so the trainer that they had, Jason, he was phenomenal. He was, very he was forward and in such a fun way, to put me on the right track, to know how to articulate what I was saying in such a way that it would convey to people and they would understand exactly what I'm trying to say. And the way he spoke to me, it just made me so comfortable and so relaxed that I didn't feel like it was training. I felt like I was sitting down talking to a friend over coffee, and they were saying, "Okay, girl, say it just like this." He was great. The training was phenomenal. And I recommend it to anyone, whether they're a public speaker or not. There's a big difference. Once you get out into the general population, the general public on radio, there's a big difference in how you need to articulate your message.
Absolutely, and it's great what Jason does, because that's what it's like on the radio, right? You don't want to be nervous. You're just talking to a friend, and that's really what it is, and then your personality comes out. And Zelda, with you, able to engage, able to resonate with people, because, of course, that's the key in getting them interested in learning more about you and reaching out to you.
Well, it was, if we're talking the same thing, regarding callers calling into the shows that I was on to speak with me, is that what we're talking?
Right, exactly.
That was an experience that caught me off guard, because I didn't think that would happen. I'll be very honest with you. They had callers coming in, and it was like, "Well, Zelda, what if you don't have A, B, and C? And well, Zelda, what if this, that?" So being able to talk with other people, not just having the interview was fantastic, but being able to speak with the general population in different states around the world was a rush, and I think I made differences, and a lot of those people ended up calling me back and became clients, and if they didn't become clients, they were buying the books.
Wow, that's all great news. Now, tell people, obviously, you do some research when you're getting ready to hire a PR firm, if you're thinking about it. Why did you choose Annie Jennings PR over other firms? What was it about Annie?
Well, I had contacted quite a few, and first off, the response rate was depressing. They were taking 4 or 5 days to get back to me, or the conversation was, it just showed me they were all about money. They weren't about my best interest. They weren't about helping me get my message out, get my sales up. They weren't about that. They were about pocket. Annie has such a bubbly personality, and she tells you exactly what you're going to get. There's nothing hidden around behind what she says. She says A, B, and C, and that's exactly what it did. So the fact that she was so responsive, like she contacted me same day I got a call back from you guys, and that week we were working, and she worked with me on what I needed to do. She just made me feel, her personality was trusting. And everything that she said, she delivered within a matter of days, So I felt very confident that I made the right choice. And it was not about money with her. It was like, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to guarantee you this. And she went above and beyond everything that she guarantees. So her bubbly personality was just it.
She has what we call the blink factor, where she talks to somebody and she's able to see exactly where you want to go. And we know whether or not we are the firm to get you there. That's the one thing that we don't do, is sell anything that we can't deliver. So, Zelda, I mean, you've done a wonderful job on these radio interviews. Hopefully, of course, we'll continue to be working with you and enjoy this great success that you've achieved and continue to build on these media assets that you now have.
Thank you so much, Stacey.
And you can learn a lot more about life coach and motivational speaker Zelda Hayes on her website, which is Zelda M, as in Mary, Hayes, ZeldaMHayes.com. And she's author. Her latest book is Jezebel's Last Dance. So, thanks again.